Hello. Don't know if we did a Wee Wednesday Blether yesterday or the day before. The reason for that is this has been bloody miserable. Well, 2 days ago we were battling head-on headwinds that were gusting at 120 kilometers an hour. I was on a flat in my granny gear, 1-1, just pedaling like crazy. And then it started to rain, and then we got into hills and climbing, and then we had the gusts, and then we were climbing, and then we were getting near the summit, and wham, we get hit by hail in our face. It's been wet and it's been windy. We stayed at a friend's house that night in Papatawai, or at least in their little hut. Was hoping it was going to be better the next day, and it was. The rain was heavier, but the wind was less. It was only gusting at 110 kilometers an hour, and so we got absolutely soaked through the skin, belted again by hail, belted by rain, belted by wind. We chose not to pitch our tent that night, and chose not to pitch our tent that night. We found this kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, backpackers, owned by a rather nice and interesting guy. Thanks, Mr. Farmer. And we started today again in the rain and in the wind, just relentless. 3 days of rain, or 2.5 days of just rain and wind and wind and wind. And then a few hours ago we turned off, and now the wind's kind of side on, sometimes behind us. We're pretty high up at the moment, but I'm descending. Hello, Sharon. About 47 kilometers an hour, almost in Wyndham. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say other than those 2.5 days would perhaps be the hardest days that I've ever cycled. Yeah, it's 5:30 right now. We've been on the road since 8:30. Just battling winds, Fort Roast, felt like it was never going to come. That's it, nothing really interesting to say other than it's just been windy. And I don't think the weather forecast tomorrow is for that much wind. We head to Gore, but it's going to be a wet one too, a very wet one. Okay then, bye bye.